Hi everyone, and welcome to this webinar to do with creating packages or Garden Gnome packages. I'm Martin from support, and I'm joined today by Karen. All right, I'm also joined today by Karen as well. I don't know where she's
I'm very sorry. I was still muted.
Chatting away.
Yeah. Sorry about that. So anyway, I'm Karen. I'm the one who forgets to turn off my mute mic, and I'll be helping out in the background. So if you have a question, we encourage you to ask them, but please use the Q&A tab. Martin, do you have that slide? Yeah.
Yeah, it's there.
That really helps us organize the questions and keeps everything moving nice and flowing. Also, please try to keep the questions on topic, and our topic today is all about packages and exporting. So I hope you enjoy it, and I'll see you later.
Thank you, Karen. Right. First and foremost, hello everybody, and thanks for joining us today. As I said, today is all about Garden Gnome packages. Right, so what is a package? Well, a package is basically a single file export that you can use in various places. First and foremost then is, how do you create a package? Well, I've got Pano2VR open, and you're probably you've probably seen this little button here, which is a little gnome hat sticking out of a cardboard box or a package. And to create a package, all we do is click this. It opens up and asks me for the package name. I'm just going to call it packages. Click save, and it will export it. And there it is. If I just minimize Pano2VR for the second, you'll see that there is the package. This is what it looks like. Okay, so that's one way of creating the package. There is another way of creating the package. See, if you were to use something like a droplet and you wanted to just throw a panorama onto a droplet and it wanted to kick out a package, obviously you couldn't do it with this because you've manually got to click this button. But what you can do is, if you go to the HTML tab, under templates, you'll see that there is a ggpkg template. So this now becomes part of the output. Okay, so what we could do now is just create an output as normal, and that will now create the package. All right, so that's what it will do. So this is put it inside the output folder of the HTML5 output, but you can see that we've created a package here as well. Okay, the other thing is as well is, if you're using Object2VR, it doesn't have a package button like this. Again, you would go to the HTML tab and you would select the ggpkg template from there. So that would be Object2VR. But anyway, that's creating the package. Okay, so once we've created this package, what do we do with it? Right, well, let's just close Pano2VR because I've now got my packages. I don't need to save that. So let's go back to, as the output. Right, so there's my package. So there it is. I can now close this folder. So there's the package. Right, we have a package viewer. So if I go to our website, here it is, so ggnome.com, and under products you'll see we've got package viewer. If I select that, scroll down, we've got a little bit of information about the package viewer and a video and whatnot. We'll be updating the video soon, but click download. I'm on the Mac, so I'm just going to download it for the Mac, and it will download fairly quickly because it's not a huge file. And when it's done, there it is on the Mac. I'm just going to double click, open it up. Here we go. And all I'm just going to do now is just drag and drop it into the applications. I've already got one in there, so I'll just replace it. And that's done. Obviously on Windows, you download the Windows version, you can install on Windows. But once you've got the package viewer installed, let's just eject that and bin the download. Once the package viewer is installed, all you need to do with the package is double click it, and it should open up. There we go. All right, now what you probably saw was a little bit of decompressing going on, because the package viewer is basically a zip file with our own file extension, so it zips up and makes the project a little bit smaller. So, and this is what makes it an ideal format for sending to other people. Now, so yeah, that's basically that's basically it. Once you've got the package viewer installed, or your client has, or whoever wants to view the package, they download and install the package viewer. You send them the ggpkg or the package. On receipt of that, double click and it just opens it straight up, and it's got all the functionality as if you would seeing it on a web page. So full screen, and you've got projections and everything else. Okay, so that's basically the package viewer being opened by just double clicking the package. Okay, but if we go to the package viewer, so let's go to applications and where have I put it? I can't see it. He says wood for the trees. So let's just have a look. Here it is. So if I open up the package viewer, double click, this is what it looks like without any packages dropped into it. Okay. Now we have a hidden like secret modes for the package viewer. That is detailed in that web page that I first showed you where we downloaded it. And that's if we double click the grey area or the darker area, you get these options. Now we can go full screen or kiosk mode. Kiosk mode is in red because it's a little bit difficult to get out of if you don't know how to do it. So as an example, if I'm going to select kiosk mode and now close the package viewer, I'm just going to double click and it goes bang straight into full screen mode, and you can't press escape or do whatever, just nothing works to get out of it. So this is why it's in red. On the Mac, it's Command Q to get out. On the PC, you have to press the Windows button, and then you'll see the icons at the bottom, and then you can close it. Right button click and close the package from there. But yeah, if you don't know what or how to get out of it, it's a bit difficult. This is why it's a hidden feature. Now I really struggle trying to see that from here. So let's just, if I open it up, I know it's directly there. Okay, so there is the package viewer again. I'm just going to deselect kiosk mode. The full screen option, again, when you open it up, takes you into full screen. The only difference with this, let's just show you really. So let's just escape, he says, come out of there. If I double click and open up the package, it opens up in full screen, but the difference now is on the Mac. If I move my cursor to the top of the screen, you can see I can get out where I couldn't before. And again, on Windows, I think it's just a case of holding down the Windows key and again right button click in the taskbar to get out that way. Okay, so that's your package viewer and a couple of modes that's got. I'm going to just double click. Hang on, let's come out of this. Here we go. Deselect that because I don't want to keep that going into full screen mode for me. All right, so that's the package viewer. That was really quick, short, sharp, and simple. But with that said, do we have any questions?
Hi, I remember to turn on my mic. So yeah, we do. And Daniel's first question was a question I had, or something I thought about while I was watching you. He's asking, when should the package be created? Not with the button, but with the template in the HTML panel.
Good question. Basically, they both create a package. In Pano2VR, let's just open up the project again. Bob. Good job, Pano2VR is nice and quick. Right, so basically, for convenience, there's that button. Okay, so if you want to share a package or something with somebody, just click and create the package, and then you can send it. Now, if you wanted to use the package with a droplet, then you can't physically with a droplet click this button. So you would need to select it from here. So if we select, I'll tell you what we're going to do. Is we will do this. We will open up Pano2VR and we're going to create a simple droplet. Okay, so we start off with an HTML5 output. I am going to go to the HTML tab and I'm going to select ggpkg. Okay, and I'm going to select a skin, just, I don't know, silhouette or simplex v6, that'll do. And then I'm going to go File, Save as Droplet. I'll save the values in the project file, create, and let's just call this, well, it's going to be called Droplet Pano 2VR. So Pano 2VR Droplet, that'll do. It's going to save it to the desktop. I can close this. Do I need to save this? No, because the project file now becomes this droplet. So what I could do now is if I just create a new folder just to keep things tidy. So let's just copy this into the folder. So this would be like a new project, and all I need to do now is just drag and drop the folder onto the droplet. Pano 2VR does its magic, and inside here will be the project file, and in the output is our package. There we go. So we've created a package automatically by using a droplet. But of course, the only way that you can create a package with using a droplet is choosing the ggpkg template. I hope that made sense. So one is just a quick button creates a droplet, a package, and that's it. The other one, if you select it by a template, then you can use a droplet to process many panoramas if you just drag and drop the folders on there. Anyway, I hope that answered that question.
It did. Thank you. Daniel has another question. He says, is there an unbranded version of the viewer app available so that customers don't see the Garden Gnome branding? Not that I dislike branding, he says.
At the moment, no. It's something that we put together one Christmas for our customers, or rather Thomas put together for our customers one Christmas, and it's free and anyone can download it. And it was the idea was that, you know, if you wanted to share a project with your customer, two things really going on here. One, it's a single file format, so it's easier to send. The other thing is, unless they really know what they're doing, they really can't get in to see all your pictures and steal anything if you're just previewing it and not actually sold it to them yet. And of course, the other thing that we do get feedback on is, well, my customer won't install any third-party software. My answer to that is, well, customers used to install the Flash plugin, which was a complete security risk without any problems. So I can't see them not wanting to install something that's, you know, quite simple as this. In fact, we had a well-known London police force do exactly just that the other day. So, yeah, it's so that's basically down to your customers if they want to install it. But if they install it, all you've got to do is send them the package. As soon as they get it, double click and it opens it. So it's really, really simple and convenient. Right.
Yeah.
Any more?
I think, but in that case, you know, sometimes your clients don't have admin rights and can't download and install. So that's sometimes an issue.
It is, but then if that's the case, then there's, you know, then there is an IT department that you then submit the package to and say, we would like this on our computers, please. And if they want to investigate it and see if it's got any nasties in there, which obviously it doesn't, then that's entirely up to them. But, you know, so it's free to use if you want to use it.
Yeah, and we have already something in the works, a unbranded viewer. If you really would like it, then please send us an email to support@gggnome.com, and I'm guessing we'll get it to you. Yeah. Okay, so we still have another question from Luke.
Go on, sorry. I was just going to add with the package viewer.
It's okay. It's custom branding. Yeah. So
we apparently we can offer custom branding. It's not something that we're asked that much often, but I think we got asked the other day actually, and I was like, I'll forward this to Thomas. So, but yeah, I think it's a case of we will do that. If you have a need for it, then just let us know, I think is the answer to that one. Sorry, Karen, go on.
So Luke has a question. In the viewer on Windows, you can close it in kiosk mode, but how then do you get out of kiosk mode next time?
Well, every time you if you open it, it's going to go full screen into kiosk mode. To escape from kiosk mode, you just press the Windows key. Right, you can press the Windows key and escape from it that way. But next time it's in kiosk mode, if you double click in the dark area, you actually get the hidden menu come up. You can then deselect kiosk mode and then obviously use the Windows key to escape again, but the next time it opens in the smaller window.
Okay. And Manuela is asking if we will ever make German webinars. That's off topic, but the answer is maybe. We do have some tutorials in German by our friend Thomas Bredenfeld. So if you, maybe we'll have some German webinars, but for now it's all in German. I mean, all in English, I'm sorry. And yeah, so, okay, that's it for the questions. You can continue.
Thank you. Right, okay, so we now know how to create a package. There's a couple of ways of doing that. And we know where to go now. I'll go back to that just to show you that. Go back to the website, and where you're looking for is products and package viewer. And it tells you all a little bit, it tells you all about that. The video also goes through how to do it with Windows as well as Mac. So yeah, if you didn't quite get what I said about the Windows version, the video will explain it. As I say, we will be updating the video. It's a little bit old, but that's on the to-do list after this webinar. Okay, so that's basically the package viewer and where to go to download it. Okay, the next item we want to look at then is our WordPress plugin. So let's just switch to my WordPress, my test WordPress site. So this is it. And I'm going to go to the dashboard. And what you're going to be doing is going to plugins and you're going to add new. And what you're looking for, if we search in the help, for GGPKG. All right. And you should get this come up. All right. So we're going to install now. And we're going to activate it. There we go. So there is the Garden Gnome package activated. There's the version number and everything else. Now to use this, what you would do is you'd go to posts, or rather, sorry, I'm jumping the gun a bit. So once you've got the package, the plugin installed, what you need to do now is upload the package to WordPress. So if you go to media and then add new, there you go. You've got this section where we can add the package. You would just drag and drop it into this section to upload it. However, you may or may not have a maximum upload file size limit. I've seen them down to 2 meg, 8 meg. Mine was actually quite low, but I asked Thomas if he could change mine for me on the server, and he did, and I've got it now to 100 meg. But even so, that's still not really large enough for some of the projects. So Thomas actually found a nice little plugin that actually gives you a lot more space or file size. So I've just got to remember where it is. So we go to plugins, add new, and it's help me Karen, help me Karen. I'm looking for,
sorry, it's
TUX
E.
E, that's it, DO, right? There we go, can't spell a thing here. And it's, here we go, Tuxedo Big File Uploads. Right, so we're going to install this. Installing. And then we're going to activate it. Okay, so this is now Big File Uploads. Now watch this. This was actually quite cool. So if we go to Media, Add New, we're now up to 2 terabytes. So just by installing that, it's a free plugin, and boom, it's given us a 2 terabyte upload limit. So that's a very good tip if you've been held by the upload limit, because in the past what we would say is, create a cut down version of the package, upload it so it's in your file size upload, then use FTP to send up all the larger portions of that tour. So it's a bit of faffing around, but this gives you 2 terabytes straight away. Anyway, so there is the the upload new media, and I'm just going to drag and drop and place in the package inside the area, drop area, and you can see that we're uploading it. So whilst it's chugging away, I'm just going to sup a bit of juice.
And there aren't any questions, so...
No, it's quite funny because I actually wrote this down, tuxedo thing, and I'm looking at my notes, and you know what? I can't find it.
That's okay.
I'm just looking at this. I was just like, oh no, panic.
Yeah, and I took my eyes off the screen for a moment, I have to admit. So.
No, it's all right. I'll just. Right. Okay. So we're nearly there. 9900. Bang. We're in. Okay. So if we now go to the media library, you can now see that here is my package uploaded. This is the project that we were working with. You can see I've got various other ones here as well, but this is the one that I was working with. Okay, so that's that. If I go to posts, now what I want to show is with WordPress. Now I'm not a huge user of WordPress, but basically there are 3 different ways of editing. You've got what is called the classic editor. And then you had what was known as the Gutenberg, but I think that's now known as the block editor. And then you've also got now a more powerful one called Elementor. So what I'll be doing is having a look at all 3 of those, and I'm sure at some point it will touch base with some of you. So basically, if we go to posts, I'm going to start off with the classic editor. So if I go new, this is what it looks like. Now the reason why I've got this edit with Elementor is because in plugins I've actually added the classic editor, which gives me the classic editor, and Elementor. If you're starting a brand new WordPress build, you won't have these 2, and you'll go to what is called the block editor, which we'll look at after we've had a look at the classic. Okay, so let's go back to post then. Add new. Here is a new post. I'm just going to give it a title. So this is package 1, and what you would do, simple enough, add media, select the package we've just uploaded, insert into post, and you get a shortcode. Okay, we want to preview it, press the preview button, and this is what we get. So there's the panorama, and it was easy as that to put it in. Okay, he says I have screwed it up because there's loads of different ones up there, and that's probably why that's done that. Right, but that's the package. Okay, so the package here is a shortcode, and the reason why I want to show you this first is because the shortcode is actually quite powerful. It gives you a lot of functions. Now before I go forward into showing you more shortcodes, if I go back to the plugins and go back to, oh, let's leave this. Oh, actually, no, let's stay on that. Let's save this. He says, it says, right, publish. So I've published that out. So I'm going to go back to plugins, and I want to show you the Garden Gnome package because we have settings here. And if I click this, you'll see, so we've got some basic settings, and the basic settings are the width, so and height. So we've got 640 by 480. That's the standard. We can either start the as you view the page, the panorama can either have a start image or a preview image, so you need to click to activate it. That's quite handy if you've got 3 or 4 different panoramas in the same page and each one's got its own media. So the idea is that when you go to the page, they don't all start playing at once. You can set preview images. And the other thing is as well, and why I couldn't show you this to start with, is that you can install players from different packages. So as an example, obviously 6.111 came out yesterday, and that's what I'm using now. Had I used a 6.1.10 package and uploaded that, you would find that in this list. And the reason why we're doing this is sometimes if you're displaying the same panorama in the same page and you're using from package, so you're using the player from the package, there could be a slight issue between, say, I don't know, a 6.1.5 player from a 6.111 player, and you might find that one panorama doesn't show correctly. So you would come in here and say, right, I want all panoramas to use that one player. So you'd save your changes and that would be that. Now this is global. Okay, so these are global changes. So if I was to select start as preview, that would be a global change as well. All right, but I'm not going to do that, because what I want to do is go back to this page that we started, and if we right, so here's the page we started, and here is the shortcode. Okay, so what I'm going to do is go back to our website just to show you. So let's go new window, Pano 2 VR, and if we go products, you can see package plugins. Okay, so I'm going to whiz it to the bottom and go to Pano 2 VR, and you can see all the attributes that we can use within this shortcode. So as an example, start with the player preview true. So I'm going to copy that, and I'm just going to minimize that for the second, and here I can just add it there. All right, and what I can do here is preview changes, and here you can see that I've got the start button. There you go. So that's one of the things that we can do. Is have a look at the list. We've got quite a lot of things that we can do here. It's all right. Thomas is typing to me. I think what I needed to do when I opened up that package and we saw odd tiles was to clear the browser cache, but I'll do that in a second. But what I want to do now is highlight all the things that we can do here. So basically we've got, if you look, start view. So you can actually ask for the panorama to start in a different view to what's set. Okay, so again, if we just minimize that, I can add that to the shortcode, and then when we preview this, you'll see that that would be the start view because I'm using the start preview. But when we click it, we're now, let's just do that. Let's go to develop and empty caches and refresh. Right, so there we go. So we're now starting with a different view. Okay, so you can start to see how powerful these shortcodes can be. All right, so that's basically the classic editor, and you would build your page up and you would insert your media as you were going. So you go to the media, add your media, which is a panorama. It adds the shortcode, and you can start to do and add things with the shortcode. Okay, so this is the classic editor, so to speak. Now, before I go on, is there any questions on this before I flip over?
I have a question. Yes, there are questions. I have a question, but I wanted to stop you right there before you went on.
Right, yeah.
Is the syntax any different if you have more than one package in a post?
No, as far as I know, if you've got if you wanted to add another package, you would just cursor down, add media. Let's add, I don't know, telephone box. Insert into post, and you've got that. What changes is the ID, of course. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
But all of this, so I could actually have here, as an example, width equals. Now, with WordPress, it's a single quote, and I could put, I don't know, 320, single quote. Here we go. So if I was to preview this, we've now see that I've got 2 in there, and one's only 320, and of course I didn't ask it to start with a preview image, and there we go. So you've got all of that control, really. So that's really good.
So then the other thing I wanted to just quickly ask, and Daniel has... Two Daniels have a question, so we will get to that. But I just want to get these off my chest so I don't forget. When you decide to use the preview button, this is probably good to have if you have a lot of packages on your in one post, and if it's for one, yeah, that's the reason why you might want to have a play button. I just wanted to bring that up. So Danielle is asking, Okay, maybe we might have to wait until afterwards, but I'll ask the question. Can you elaborate a bit on advantages and disadvantages of embedding a tour into a WordPress site via a GGPKG versus an iframe and HTML, especially for larger tours and high image resolutions? He prefers HTML because not always the entire tour needs to be uploaded on changes. And Piero would also like to know this. Maybe that's something we can touch on at the end?
Yeah, basically, yeah, we'll touch on it at the end. I'm just trying to think as how I can show it because I'm not really set up in this. I don't have an FTP client, but basically you just go in with FTP and find it within WordPress and do it as you would do if it was any other folder anywhere else. But we can cover that in more detail afterwards.
Yeah, I think we can elaborate on that. And see, Daniel Orantes says, is there a limit, suggested or otherwise, to tours we should display on a single page?
What number of tours, or just a tour that's huge?
I think he means like number of packages. How many things can you put onto a page until, something things or someone yells at you?
To be honest, it's how long's a piece of string. I think it's going to be down to the computer viewing that page, because if you've got a very slow old computer and you've got, I don't know, 10 panoramas all trying to rotate and spin and auto-rotate in a page, it's going to drag it down. But if you've got a super duper fast iMac Pro with 18 cores and all that sort of stuff, then it's not going to have that much problem. So that's really going to be down to the individual machine. I don't think there's any limit with WordPress to that. But yeah, you've always got to be a little bit mindful about what's trying to display it. So yeah,
I think that's the sometimes you don't realize how much power or how much it takes to play all these things, especially on one website. And that's why also it's helpful to have the play button there.
Absolutely. If it's not got a play button, I mean, like WordPress is a blog post or a blogging site. I know people use it as a proper website, but I'd be inclined to not really put too many on there, because obviously it's creating too much. It's too much resource, being too resource hungry for if someone tries to open up the website on a mobile device or something. But anyway, that's how long's a bit of string, as they say.
Yeah. Okay, I think that's it. And Daniel, Piero, we'll get back to your questions at the end.
Yeah, please someone remind me of that though, because I think
it's definitely something we should touch on. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just trying to think how I can show it with my screencast build or my webinar build. I don't have the software in.
No, I don't think you need to show anything. I think we just need to talk about why we use one or the other.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So let's get back to this then. So let's just update this. So that's my blog post. If I go to Support Gnome, visit the site, and there you see it. So there you can see the one that we've, the shortcode that we set for the width for 320, and here's the one with the play button. Okay, and we also changed the default view. Now the other thing is as well that I wanted to show, which is quite cool, is you can also have direct node access as well. Just trying to find it. We've got this start view. Here we go. Direct node access. Yes. Start preview. I'm sure we had this. Here it is. This one. Sorry. Right. So here it is. So yeah. So start node. So basically, you can not only decide what view you want to start with, but you can decide what node that you want a particular project to start with. So that's, if you've created a package and uploaded it and then realized, oh, actually I wanted to start with this node in this particular view, you can add the shortcode to it. And again, it's just a copy. So if I was to do this, let's go back to my post, go to package 1, edit with classic editor. So I could let's get rid of the preview. Start with preview. Don't want to do that. What I'm going to do is paste that in there, and we're going to start with node 3. So that should take us directly into the church. I think I've got a space in there I shouldn't have. And if we preview that, that's now taken us directly into the church. So that shows you that direct node access going on. The cool thing about this is I didn't actually select direct node access in the project. So this is the plugin doing this. So yeah, that's quite cool. All right, so this is the, let's just update that. So this is the classic editor. Now, to go back to the block editor, which is going to be the default if you've just started with a WordPress website. I need to go into settings, writing, and here you can see I've started with classic editor. It normally defaults to block editor. Okay, so I'm just going to save this. And we're going to go back into posts, and I'm going to add another post. So add new, and you can see now that this is a bit different. And this is what the block editor looks like. So I can add my title as usual. So packages, and let's just call this packages 2 because I know what I'm doing. Good. Right. And this time round, what you would do is you have your blocks. So we can add a block. Now you can see I've got ggpkg already here, but that may not necessarily be there. This is all the commonly used ones that you've had. So you go to browse all and you go down to widgets. There we go. And then you would select it there. So we've now selected our widget, and we can now select a package from here. So again, I could select, I don't know, let's select the V-Day Memorial. There it is. So there's, so what I can do is we can go to preview, previewing tab, and there it is. All right. Now, this is a bit long, this, and the reason why it's that is because this is given, this has got some other settings. So if we select this, let's just get rid of that. If you click on the more options, you've got show more options in the side here, and we can see now we can override the plugins settings. Here I can set if I want to start with preview or not. Here we've got a width set for 100%. I'll talk about that in a second. And we've got the height. Now that height was a bit too high for me. But what we can also do with height, which is quite good, is set that to be 100 viewpoint height, so VH. Okay, so I'm going to preview this. And here what we should have now is this is going to take up 100% of the height. So if I do that, you can see that it's responding to the height. If I scroll up and down, you can see that it's not because I'm chopping it off top and bottom. It is actually doing what it's supposed to do. Now, you're probably going to say to yourself, well, hang on a second, Martin, or I'll say to me, however, you've selected 100% width. Why isn't it going full width of page? That's because we've given it 100% width of the viewport that the theme has given us to place our panorama. So this is actually theme dependent. So this particular theme has given the width of the viewport here, and we've filled it to 100%. These spaces here have been determined by the theme. So because I quite often get that on support, or we quite often get that on support, should I have said, is, I want to, fill it up edge to edge, blah, blah, blah. It's really down to the theme that will allow you to do that. So that's basically the block. Now, the other thing with the block is it's very basic. As you can see here, you haven't got really too much that you can do. All right. But what you can do is we can go back to the, if I click add another block, and let's browse all, we can go to the classic block. So this is exactly what we had before. So if I now select add media, so this is the classic block, I'm going to add media. We can select our media. So let's, let's do the telephone box, insert into post. There's our short code. I'll just add a couple of spaces here so it pushes it down a bit. And so you can see we can add our short code here and control it and get all the control that we had from the short code on our website. So we can, start, view, things like that. So that's actually quite a powerful thing. So let's just, I don't know, what should we do here? Let's just have a think. Did I save my web page? No, I didn't. So let's just open up the web page again. I think it doesn't hurt to keep going there, because I think it's actually quite good to you guys to keep seeing where we go to get this. So it's products, package plugins, cursor down to Pano 2 VR, and this is the Pano 2 VR page. So I don't know, let's do let's start the viewport again. Let's start it from a different angle. Okay, so I can do that there. All right, so that's my different angle start, preview, and here we go. So there's there we go, the two packages. Right. Okay, so that was the first one. So that's the VE Day one. So that was the one with the airplane. Oh, sorry, this one with the airplane at the bottom, and this one was the telephone box. Okay, so that's basically the block editor. And with the block editor, we can do, as I say, we can not only do the simple way by adding the package or package viewer, if you like, or not the package viewer, but the plugin, the package plugin into the block as a block. So that's easy to do, but you're limited on what functionality you can give the panorama, or you can go back to using the classic editor and selecting and using the shortcode. Now, I do believe what you can also do with this is if we go to, let's add another one, I believe we can add just shortcode. He says, shortcode. There we go. So this is just now shortcode. The thing with shortcode is, if you know what you're doing and you are a seasoned WordPress junkie, as it were, you would know how to get all this information. So you could just literally, let's just copy that, all of that. So you could just paste that in there. As I say, if you know what you're doing, you would just type all of this in there, and that in itself will also give you, there you go, the panorama displayed in your page as well. Okay, so that's just using the short code. So we've got using the classic editor, short code, and the block editor. So that's basically the block editor and the way that you can put in your panoramas from there. Okay, now the last one, hang on, before I go any further, I'll stop it there. So this was the block editor. Do we have any more questions before I go on, Karen?
Yeah, we have, they're not specific to the block editor, but I think that we can ask them. So Manuela is asking if there is a maximum file size for packages in WordPress. And
right, we did cover that at the start.
Yeah, she might have missed that.
Yeah, absolutely. But I can go back to that if you wish.
Yeah.
I think we have time for that, so that's not a problem. Right, okay. So if we go back to... I seem to have squished... Here we go. So if we go back to the media and media library, add new, you can see that my maximum file upload size is now 2 terabyte, and that is because that I installed a plugin called Tuxedo Big File Uploads. Right. If I deactivate this, turn it off. Okay. If we now go back to the media and add new, you can now see that I've gone back to my WordPress's normal file size. Now, I've seen WordPress upload file limits at 2 meg, at 8 meg. I think this was 8 meg. I asked Thomas to upload to increase it for me. He took it to 8 meg, but then Thomas found this really useful plugin, which is this Tuxedo Big File Uploads, and when that's activated, go back to media and add new. That now puts you to 2 terabytes. So that's basically your upload limit once you've got that plugin installed and activated.
And we've, I guess we've tested up to like a 20 gigabyte file, and it's worked. So.
Oh, right, okay. I haven't gone that far. But I don't think I've got anything that big, to be honest.
Well, thousands and thousands of panos, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Gigapixels, gigapixel panoramas. Okay, so Daniel number 2, Orantes, is asking if I use a start preview image for every tour on a single page, does that mean the tour will not run or load resources beyond the start preview image until the user clicks?
Yes. Basically, nothing's going to be right. Okay, everything's on the server, of course, but your browser's not going to call for it until you've clicked the start button. When you click the start button, that's when the web page then requests the files from the server. So yes, basically.
Yeah, okay. Okay, that's it for this round.
Cool. Right. Okie dokie. So let's go back to posts then. And what we're going to do now is add another post. And we're going to have a look at this Elementor. So you can see we can edit with Elementor. So I'm just going to do that. I'm going to click this. And we're now into Elementor. This is really, really powerful. The free version, you get quite a lot of power, and you can actually upgrade to a paid version, and it gives you even more power. So it's quite a thing. Now, what I will do is say, like we did before, if you typed in short, you'll see that we can also use shortcode. And what you would do is you would drag that into there, and then you could paste your shortcode here. And let's view that and see what that looks like. And there it is. So if you're used to dealing with shortcode in Elementor, you can still do it. All right, so and of course you could add all the different parameters with the shortcode here as well. Okay, so that's quite a nice feature, as well as having all of the different, just delete that. So having all of the different other powerful tools that Elementor gives you. The thing I will say with Elementor is this is one of those, if you touch it, you own it. If you start editing a page with Elementor halfway through, so as an well, actually no, let's do this. Let's come out of this and show. So I'm going to leave this page. So here is back to WordPress editor. All right, continue. Come on. Right, so we're back to WordPress. We're at the block editor. If I go to add a package, select a package, let's do the tour select. That's it. That'll do. Publish. All updated, view the post. Let's just see this post. There it is. It's working. All right. Okay, so that's my... Oh, forgot about that. That's my intro video. Awesome. Right, okay. So that was that. So if we go back to dashboard and go back to that particular post, all right. So let's go back to edit with the block editor, because that's what we were editing with. If I now select edit with Elementor, all right. And now what I want to do, it's going to load this, obviously. Come on. And let's just search for Garden Gnome. There we go. So I can select that. And what we can do is if I scroll down, I can drag and drop a Garden Gnome package here. And I can choose, again, which one I want to use. So let's just choose that one, insert into the post. Okay. That's still loading for some reason, but never mind. If I preview this, what we'll get is the panorama that we've just added, and the package we've just added, and the one previously from the shortcode. Okay, so let's go back to this update. Okay, and what I'm going to do is escape out of this. Let's go back to the dashboard of WordPress, and let's also go back to so we're back at the dashboard now. I can't, if I go to use the block editor to edit this, you'll see that I can't. And this is what I meant by if you touch it, you've got to use it, you own it. As soon as you start editing a post with the Elementor, basically you've got to use Elementor to keep editing that page. or that post. So if I load it back up, we're back in, and here we are back here. Okay, so that's one of the things that you've got to remember. So again, you can use shortcodes with this, and then you can obviously use the package as well. It's at the bottom here, and basically with Elementor, what you do is you see the area, it says drag widget here, and that's exactly what you do. When you drag it in, you have the controls here, so I can start with the preview or not, I can set the height here or not. But again, if I typed in shortcode and used shortcode, you have that extra functionality with the start views, adjusting widths. Do you have a preview on and off? Well, you can do that here anyway, but it just gives you so much more power if you're into WordPress websites and know how to do that. So let's just add another image here. Let's just add my game, and there it is, and we can update that, and when that's updated we can preview. So there we go, that's it all. Oh, broke that. Okay, let's, yeah, so basically that's how you sort of basically add things. So you drag and drop them in, the widget in. With the widget, you select your panorama as you would before, and then you can add it to the post. All right, I think that's just about everything with WordPress I think I need to cover. I'm just going to give a shout out to Thomas if there's anything he thinks I've missed, but I think it was important to show the 3 different editors and to show the short code being used in the classic editor, and then being able to use the short code in the other 2, block editor and Elementor. And then using the block editor, you could just, you know, literally select panoramas and put them into blocks, and with Elementor you just drag and drop. So I think we're good. I think that's just about this thing done. I think I'm actually, no, I'm going to show you one last thing.
Can we just, before you do that, can we just have one question answered?
I'm feeling generous. Go on in.
Because I think Jeffrey missed how you created a shortcode in Elementor. He's asking how you create shortcode in Elementor. Can you just show that really quickly again?
Right. Well, I didn't. The thing with in Elementor, what I did is I had a shortcode already copy and pasted. So basically,
I thought I missed it, but okay.
So basically, what I would do here is, if I can get out of this, so let's just update. He says, right, let's go back to, let's exit to dashboard. Right, so this is, so we're back here. Go to back to Elementor. I'm going to search in for short, and that's going to allow me to add shortcode, right? So, and here you would add your shortcode. Now, I would have put in here, so open square bracket, ggpkg ID, and then the ID of the package. Okay. Now, to actually find the ID of a package, you can actually do this with the media. Add media. So let's just leave this page, all right, and let's go back to, because this is actually quite interesting to do. So if you go to library, so this unless you're going to use the classic editor or block editor and use the classic editor and the block editor, that's the only time that you get to see the actual ID. So basically, what we can do is, if we select a package, if we have a look at the URL, you'll see that the URL actually contains the package's ID. So I could copy that. All right. So then you could go back into Elementor and then say type in the shortcode and then type in the ID. Now, one of the things Thomas has just actually said to me, or just fired up, is show the filter. Because if you've got lots and lots of media, because obviously I've only just put in packages, I've got the odd one image, but you might have in your website lots of images and lots of packages, and what you can do is you can filter So you can select Garden Gnome packages and only show Garden Gnome packages. So that's actually quite a good thing to do. So if if I wanted to, say in Elementor, I wanted to add this package, I would then I can copy and paste the ID here, copy. I can close this. Let's go back to the post and edit with Elementor. Let's just type in shortcode. Right, so let's just shortcode, drag and drop that in. Here is the shortcode. So that would be, off the top of my head, open bracket, ggpkg, ID equals that, and close bracket. I can't remember if that needs...
No, I don't think so.
No, it doesn't. No, right, okay. So that's that. And if I view that, we should get... Oh, no, I've broke it again. Right, okay. These are old. These are old packages I'm using from previous builds. But yeah, but that's basically how you would get to it. So this information again was on our website on how to construct a shortcode, but showing you how to get to the shortcode. Unless you're using, as I say, if you're using Elementor, then then you can get the shortcode for the package from the URL. Okay, I think that's just, as I say, I think that's about all I need to cover. But having said that, I think I've said that before, and we've got questions, so I'm just going to put it out there again. Have we got any more questions?
Well, what was it that you wanted to show before?
Right, yes. No, what it was sorry, it was up. I think somebody mentioned that they wanted to use iframes to embed because they may want to change things within the package, right? So I think the thought process there is, well, if you have to create a package every time, that's a pain if I only need to update, say, one node. But the truth of the matter is, with WordPress, if you go to the WordPress directory, it's basically WP content. The next directory is going to be uploads. The next directory would be the year that you've uploaded. The next directory would be the month that you've uploaded. And then you would see all the packages that you've uploaded. And with each package, it would decompress into a folder. And it's that folder that what we're seeing here. Okay, so theoretically, well, not theoretically, actually, if you go to, as I say, if you use an FTP client, you can navigate straight in to the tiles folder and change the tiles, or change the player, or change or edit any part of your decompressed package in WordPress. So you don't necessarily have to host it on a different server and bring it in on an iframe unless you have a specific need for that. But if the need, which I think was being mentioned, was because they edit it a lot and they don't want to have to keep creating new packages, the thing is, once the first package is in WordPress, you can just navigate to it using FTP and change anything in the directory as if you would if it was hosted anywhere else. So I think that's that's what was being asked.
Yeah, it's being asked. I mean, there's a little bit more going on. So I think since we're there, we can keep moving on. It's more like if you're deciding to use plain HTML versus and an iframe as opposed to using just a package, the package is probably going to be the better solution for exactly what you were saying. You can change these things using FTP. Everything is there. You can quickly upload images there or change, whatever you need to change. And another thing that Thomas was reminding me of is iframe runs into a lot of issues. So, like dealing with cookies, sometimes it doesn't work on mobile OSs. You've got the the cross browser issues, CORS issue.
CORS, yeah, cross resource, yeah.
Right, so you can run into those issues, and with the package you don't. And Daniel's also going on with that same topic is that he's asking, well, I'll just read it out. So he's asking, the HTML tree uploaded tours are not embeddable in the package plugin, right? Then I have a feature request for GGPKG WordPress plugin. Support not only packages, but also tours uploaded as HTML directory tree. All in one place, same options and settings available. You can use the URL attribute for that.
You can.
So it's already there.
Yeah, let me. So if we go to the word, so products, can never show this enough really. So package plugins, go down to Pano 2VR, and if we go to the shortcodes, you can do it here. So you can add, so this will use the package, but it's actually getting the files from a remote server. If you're doing this, what you need to do in Pano 2VR, all right, so let's just open up Pano 2VR. Hopefully it will show me what you will need to do is if you are going to, as an example, upload your output onto the same server as your website, all right, and you're going to use the URL to embed it, you will need to select create files for external embedding. And what this will do is add the JSON file and the preview image into the output. So your output's already got that. So let's have a look. Here, if we have a look at the output, you can see that it creates this JSON file and the preview image, and that's what our plugin requires to be able to. So if you're wanting to start with the preview image, it's got the preview image to start with. So yes, you can do it. Yes, you can use the URL, but you do need to select the files for external embedding, and it adds these two to your output.
Oh, right. Yeah, good one. So also, let me see. So Piero has been also asking or is concerned about the plugin's speed. Like, is it going to slow down a website? How does it affect a website?
Not that I've seen and not that I know of. We've got a fair old few. Actually, what was it we Thomas and I spotted? We went to the... let me just minimize this and get back to my WordPress. We went to plugins, and what did we do? New plugin, GGPKG, and it's had 3,000 plus activations and installations. I think if there was a problem with it, I think we'd know about it by now. But yeah, we were quite pleased to see that. So it's been used quite a lot, I'd say. Just the plugin. So yeah, it's as I say, we really don't get any issues. I think the only questions I do get are, I want it full screen, I want this, want that, want the other. And to be honest, as I said before, if you set 100% viewpoint height and then 100 viewpoint height and then 100% wide, the package will display 100% height and width of whatever that theme will allow it to have. So if it's not doing it, it's not down to us or the package, it's down to the theme. So I think they're really the only questions I do get, that it's unfortunately I can't, our package can't do that. It can't affect the theme. So all good.
And I would imagine too, I think it would also depends on how that site is put together and how many other plugins you've got, and what's...
Absolutely. I think there's hard and fast rules when you're building packages for WordPress. I don't think all package producers follow those rules, and then some packages can overspill on code and cause problems elsewhere. Generally, if we bump into a customer says to us, "Oh, it's not working with this particular plugin," we have no problems contacted them and trying to get it and try and resolve issues. Some people respond, some people don't. But as far as we're concerned, that this has all been built to specs and it should work everywhere and with everything. But the real world is there may be a theme or another plugin that it may conflict with, but I don't think that's going to be down to us. That's going to be down to them. But as I say, we are more than willing to talk and resolve any issues if we can. There is in our forum a page for this. If I select this and go to CMS plugins, now this is quite important as well. If you want to ask a question on our forum, if you're not already part of the forum, send us an email to support@gggnome.com with your desired username, and we will set you up. And if you're anything to do with WordPress, it's CMS, so content management systems, to do with plugins. What we've got is a useful post index, and we've also got what we got here. So that's how to register, and we've got let's have a look here. Plugin settings. Okay, so that's quite new. But yeah, we've got known issues, and we've also got test files as well. I've seen in the past some people have gone in and made a package, and what they've done is they've actually given the path to, say, the HTML page different to that of the XML. They've uploaded the package and they get this can't find XML. If you've got issues like that, then these are two known working packages. Download them, put them on your website. If they display, it's how you've built your package. If they don't display, then it's something with your website. So that's quite a good little test. This is quite good to have these two known packages that work. So yeah, so a bit of self-help there.
And that one, those are really old, no? Like 2013, they still work?
Absolutely.
That's cool.
Absolutely. The actual light painting one, I think that got updated, because the light painting one, we saw it on my website. It's still working fine. Probably will upload them at some point, but yeah, no. To be honest, they all still work, and yeah, if they work, then and yours don't, then guess where the problem is.
Cool. But, yeah. So Daniel's got another question.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wait, first of all, Hopke Martin. If you guys don't know, this is Martin. Hopke.
That's me.
Look at how many posts you have.
Oh no! Oh yeah, all the ones.
Yeah. Okay. So Daniel's last question, I think, or his next question is: does the GGPKG plugin technically actually create an iframe for the tour on the embedding page, or does the plugin's embedding work in another way? And we are using the div tag, or
yeah. So it's not an iframe; it's div.
Yeah. Okay. I'm not the expert. Thomas is saying, okay, we created the div tag and embedded it there. So yeah, that's to say it better. Sorry.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Let's go back to here. Actually, says that's another.
Yeah. So there's it's in the same page, and there's no iframe problems, things like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Great. Okay. I think that's it. I don't have any other questions lined up. I just want to say thanks, Manuela, for sharing your project there. That was nice. And yeah, and everyone is saying thank you. We say thank you.
Absolutely, because without you guys, we wouldn't be here. So, thank you to you too.
Great.
Right. Well, if that's the case, then I do believe we can wind this up once and for all. And I will say this for the very last time. That's me. I'm done. And just thank you, everybody, and see you next time. What we will be doing next time, we will post. I don't think we've got a subject as yet. So yeah. And of course, if you have any bright ideas of what you want, please email in and tell us, because we're always open to suggestions, because I'm sure at some point we're all going to be suffering from brain block and think of the next webinar. So if we have some guidance from you guys, then that'd be great too. But in the meantime, until next time, from me, see you later.
Bye.